スコットランドの首都エディンバラで1908年に創業した運用会社ベイリー・ギフォード社をご存知でしょうか。同社は創業以来100年以上にわたり長期投資の哲学に基づいてグローバル株式投資において運用実績を積み上げるとともに各国の年金基金などの機関投資家から資産運用を任されてきました。本日はそんな同社の運用戦略を活用する投資信託ポジティブチェンジを運用チームの意思決定者であるケイト・フォックス氏のインタビューを交えながらご紹介いたします。当ファンドが活用するポジティブチェンジ戦略について簡単にご紹介します。ポジティブチェンジ戦略はベイリー・ギフォード社の強みである成長企業への長期投資と経済的利益と社会的利益の追求を目指すインパクト投資を組み合わせたものです。長期的なリターンの獲得と持続可能で誰一人取り残されない世界の実現への貢献を目指します。
本日はポジティブチェンジ戦略の意思決定者であるケイト・フォック氏にお越しいただきました。それでは早速ですが、本戦略の特色や哲学について創設の経緯も含めて教えていただけますでしょうか。
Of course, I'd be delighted to. So, positive change is a strategy, it's a global impact strategy with two objectives. We're looking to invest in companies that are going to deliver attractive investment returns and companies that are going to contribute towards a healthier, more sustainable and more inclusive world. Now, there are three core beliefs that underpin these two objectives. I'd summarize them as responsibility, opportunity and long-termism, and if we take each in turn. Our world has experienced profound progress since the onset of the Industrial Revolution 250 years ago. But these benefits have not come without a cost, and they haven't been felt universally. So we have got climate change taking its toll at a rapid pace, and while hundreds of millions of people have been raised out of poverty, income inequalities persist. So the world needs to change. We need to electrify industrial and transportation sectors. We need to provide greater access to education and reduce costs to the healthcare system. This change will need to be funded. Governments and NGOs can provide funding, but that won't be sufficient. And I believe the private sector plays an important role in supporting companies that are developing and rolling out solutions to global challenges. So that is to say that I believe that investors can play a role in putting us on a more sustainable trajectory. Secondly, the opportunity. I believe that channeling capital towards companies whose products and services are providing solutions to global challenges provides a great opportunity for investors. And that's quite simple. It's because those companies are going to be the ones that thrive. There'll be greater demand for those goods and services. And evidence tells us that it's the faster growing companies that deliver the greatest outperformance over long periods of time. And our third core belief is long-termism. And that's because these challenges are big, they're complex, and they're interlinked. They can't be resolved with a quarterly or an annual mindset. It will take years, if not decades, to resolve them. And a long-term mindset has been instilled in us and passed down the generations at Baillie Gifford over our 116 years of existence. This long-term and growth philosophy that's associated with global impact investing is why we felt that it was a natural stepping stone for Baillie Gifford as long-term growth investors. The idea came about back in 2015, and it was my colleague Li Zhan who came up with the idea. Li grew up in China in the 1990s, where he experienced firsthand the impact that businesses could have on prosperity and improving living standards for many of people. His experiences triggered his interest in sustainability challenges and the role that investors and businesses can play. So he proposed this idea, and it was supported by the partnership.
ありがとうございます。一方でリターンとインパクトの両方を追求することは一見難しいことのようにも思います。こうした目的にかなう企業をどのように選んでいるのでしょうか。
Well, I'd separate that into three areas. What is it that we're looking for? Who is it that's looking for these companies, and what is the process that we deploy? So what are we looking for? When it comes to the investment returns, we're looking for companies that have got the potential to double their earnings growth over 5-year time horizons. When it comes to the impact objective, we're looking to identify companies whose products and services are providing solutions to globally recognized challenges. Now, we are a team of 11, and we have got both investors and impact analysts in the team to reflect our dual objectives. When it comes to the process, we put equal emphasis on both objectives throughout. Let's start with the analysis. We have impact specialists who interrogate the impact thesis for a business, thinking about the breadth and depth of the product impact, the intent of the management team, and how they're going about things. The investors will consider the impact case for a company. What are the growth opportunities? What's the competitive edge? What's the quality of the management team? What are the financial characteristics like today and how might they evolve? And what does the valuation tell us? When it comes to portfolio construction, it requires an impact sponsor and an investment sponsor. So this means that if a company meets one but not the other hurdle, it will not make it into the portfolio. A live example of that would be us discussing a wind turbine manufacturer yesterday. The impact case is clear, but from an investment perspective, there are low barriers to entry, so it didn't meet our hurdle. And then in the later stages of our process, we of course report on the progress the companies in the portfolio are making towards delivering impact and the financial performance of the portfolio.
どのように投資アイデアを探しているのかについて、過去の事例も踏まえて教えていただけますでしょうか。
Yes, of course. So idea generation is quite an organic process. It's about individuals following their areas of interest and enthusiasm, but always with our two objectives front of mind. Ideas can be generated from within the team and, of course, from the investors out with the team who we share one objective with, because we're all at Baillie Gifford looking for high-quality growth companies. I'm going to share two examples with you. One idea that's come through thematic research and working with colleagues, and one which was an IPO. When we've been thinking about the energy transition and the increased need for renewable energy and electrification, we've been considering what impact that's having on existing grid infrastructure. This led us to a company called Schneider, which is a French industrial company that makes hardware and software that's helping utilities, businesses, and building operators deal with a renewable, more intermittent energy system and improve their efficiencies. So this was a combination of thematic research and working with colleagues on the investment floor and identifying the idea. So we are bottom-up stock pickers, but we find thinking about global challenges and opportunities and technological shifts can help us find ideas. Let's pivot from Schneider, which is a 190-year-old French industrial company, to Nubank, which is a digital disruptor in the Brazilian banking system. This is a company that was founded just over 10 years ago in 2013. It's a business that we've been following as a potential competitor when we've been thinking about the competitive environment for financial services in Latin America. It's a business that we'd also been following before it listed, engaging with the management team whilst it was still a privately held company. This meant that when it IPO'd in 2020-21, we were comfortable taking a position in the company.
今後の見通しや現在着目しているポイントについて教えてください。
Yeah. So when it comes to thinking about my insights of the future, I'm not going to tell you what I think interest rates will be or global inflation, but I believe that we will get to a healthier world thanks to our greater understanding of biology due to next generation sequencing. I think we'll have a cleaner world thanks to exciting technological developments in transportation sectors, for example. And I think we'll get to a more inclusive world thanks to greater access to education through digital platforms. Areas of interest vary at the moment. I'll give you 3 areas that we're looking at. Most investors everywhere are considering AI. We are thinking about how we enable responsible AI. We are thinking about how companies can deploy it to improve their competitive advantage, and also companies that can help in the deliverance of AI in a cleaner, more efficient way because it's very energy and water consumptive. We are thinking about an aging population. What does that mean for the healthcare system? Are there ways that we can treat age-related diseases such as Alzheimer's? Are there ways we can prevent the onset of aging-related diseases? And what about automation and robotics that might be required in an aging population? We've also been looking at the fashion industry, which might surprise you. But the fashion industry is one that's got a huge environmental impact. It surprised me when I first started looking at that sector about sort of 6 years ago or so, that CO2 emissions from the global fashion sector at the time were greater than emissions from maritime shipping and international flights combined. and that it takes as much water to make one white t-shirt as required for the drinking water for an individual for 2.5 years. Now, the best way to address that is to keep things in the system for longer. So we're excited to be identifying some second-hand clothing retailers.
最後に日本の投資家の皆様へ向けてメッセージをお願いいたします。
Of course, I believe that impact investing is a way to contribute towards a better future in two ways. I think it's going to help increase savings and investment so that people can retire well. And secondly, it's a means by which we can do that whilst also contributing towards a more sustainable and inclusive and healthier world for current and future generations. It's a way of combining both, and I think impact investing will only become more popular.
本日はどうもありがとうございました。Thank you so much.